morning, guys, and happy Thursday. I feel like I have not been vlogging a lot, but I have been so busy, and I feel like last video, I don't know, I was being a little bit dramatic. Like while I was editing it, I was like, girl, relax. But sometimes you just get in those moods. Feeling better now. I definitely just still figuring out like the work-life balance, especially now that I've been taking on YouTube and also like the tie-dyeing as like second and third jobs, I feel like. But feeling way better now. My voice is starting to get used to it, as you can hear. It's Thursday, and usually by Thursday I have nothing, so this is good. This is good progress. It is around 7:53 a.m. My first client's at 8:30, but I have to run to the beauty supply store first, which is a little annoying just because I'm trying to only do one big pickup a week. I don't know, it's not even far from me, it's just out of the way. When we used to live in a certain apartment back in the day, it used to be like on the way to work, so I didn't mind it, and now it's just like completely going the opposite direction. I just have to leave around a half hour earlier than I would if I didn't have to go. But my first client of the day, she gets like a blue, like a navy. It's gorgeous, but I realized that I didn't check to see if I had blue, and I feel like I don't, so of course rather be safe than sorry. So I'm going to run. I try to get a little bit ready today just because if the weather holds up, which I'm not too sure if it's going to, it seems a little like meh. Our neighborhood, well, first of all, we mentioned it before, but like we love our neighborhood, we love our neighbors. It's part of the reason we never want to move as long as we stay on Long Island. We love everyone. We got very lucky, and one of our neighbors is so freaking cute, and she organized like a social distancing outdoor little gathering. So basically we got a slip in our mail maybe last week, and it basically said that she was having a food truck come sit at the end of one of our blocks. I think it's gonna have like some cocktails too, and it's just so cute. And she was like, oh, and then everyone could just like, you know, walk on over, we could all just like get stuff from the food truck and like kind of like talk. So I thought that was so sweet of her. So that's tonight. I think it starts at 6, and I'll be home from work around 6:30. So I figured get a little bit ready so that way I don't have to do anything. I could just walk on over. In New York especially, everyone's just kind of sticking to like outdoor gatherings. You don't have to be sitting on top of each other, and it's just like whatever. So our neighbor had a graduation party for their daughter who just graduated high school. It was so much fun, and it was so funny because while we were there, me and Vinny were having a drink with one of the neighbors, and I saw some of Olivia's friends kind of like looking at us, and I was just like, they were like, we watch you. And then Liv asked for a shout out, so hi Liv, see you tonight. I've been staying super busy this week. Yesterday I did have off, and I was gonna film, but I ended up just getting shit done. So we had a bunch of different architects and contractors come in to give quotes, so there will be an update on that in a future video. And I also tie-dyed like crazy because the beginning of August is the next release, and there are so many clothes, but they're all coming out so cute. Like it's so hard not to like pick pieces to keep for myself. Today we have 4 clients, so I think it's gonna be pretty busy. I work from 8:30 to 6:30 straight, not gonna have a break or anything. So, you know, it's a full 10-hour day. It's gonna be hectic, that's fine. All existing clients as per usual. My coffee is not very good today. I use the Trader Joe's cold brew concentrate, and I feel like I used to just drink that straight, and now I'm like, did I not? I don't know. I tried to dilute it with some water. I wish I diluted it with more water. It's just not very good. But my second client texted me last night for my coffee order. I just have to last until like 11:15, and then she's bringing me Dunkin', which is great. I just have to hold out till then because this coffee is really just not good at all. So depending on the day, if it's not a long day, I don't like stress about it, but days like today, I definitely like to try and pick up tropical smoothie. I try and get something that's a little bit better for you. It's so easy to get like an 800 calorie horrible for you smoothie from there, but I try and get like, I think it's like the triple berry oat, and I just make sure to say like no added sugar, because sometimes they'll add sugar, which is crazy to me. It just keeps me full a lot longer, especially because you guys know I don't really have time to eat during the day, so that's great. I'm definitely gonna try and do that. I have around 30 minutes until my client gets there, so I feel like I'm kind of cutting it close because I'm not even at salon centric yet, but I feel like I can do this. I tried plopping my hair yesterday. So I've always had the curly wavy hair, and then, you know, I'm like every other human where like I don't really put a lot of heat on it, but I'm constantly like brushing through it, which obviously prevents the natural curl from forming. But my t-shirt towel twisty turby thing fell off halfway through while I was sleeping, but I still don't think it looks too bad. It definitely has some type of like wave in it, and it's not too frizzy, we'll see how that lasts, because it is another disgustingly hot and humid day in New York. I think I mentioned it last video how bad I needed a haircut, and I'm trying to grow out my hair, but the last couple inches were super fuzzy and nothing's gonna grow from that. It's just not a cute look. One of my friends, Nelafar, she was chilling and I saw that she didn't have a client, so it was like, hey, can you give me a little haircut? And she is the best, because I was like, I'll just stand up and you cut straight across and I'll leave. Like, I don't want to take up your time. And she like really gave me like a full dusting, so you could see like there are no split ends. Like, she really didn't take off that much length, which is awesome, because like I said, I am trying to grow it. But she really went through, she shaped up my face rating pieces, she shaped up my layers, and it feels and looks so much healthier. So I feel great about that, because now I feel like I can start really babying it and taking good care of it and letting it grow without worrying about the last few inches. Because there's nothing worse when you're like growing out your hair and the last few inches look like crap, and also you're like, I'm growing it out and I'm gonna have to cut it anyway. So I definitely recommend that if you're ready to start like taking really good care of your hair. Try to see how long it can grow. Get that cut first, because you're not going to want to cut it once it's long. Before I go in, I'm going to call Tropical Smoothie and place my order. I was going to switch it up, but I didn't have time to look at the menus. Can I get the triple berry oat smoothie with no added sugar? Okay. And that's it. Ugh, I always have so many freaking liquids. I don't even know if I want to take the coffee in, because honestly it is just so bad, but also I'm gonna waste it. I feel like I could use the caffeine, and I'd love to film myself getting into work because I like doing those types of shots, but I have so much stuff and we have to enter a code. Usually the front door just stays unlocked, but we actually have to put in a code and let our clients in to prevent people just wandering around. I actually really like that better, because I always kind of tell people to stay in their car and I'll tell them when to come in, but like some people will just like come in and just like wait right outside your door, and I don't know, it kind of stresses me out, because let's say I want to take like 1 minute in between clients just to, you know, like clean up, answer a text, especially now, take off my mask for a minute to drink water, anything. It's kind of stressful if people are just like standing outside the door and they're like, oh no, it's okay, take your time, but you're like, I don't know, the door's clear, I don't have a curtain, so it's like I'm not really gonna like sit there and like make someone wait outside because I'm texting. So that's why I kind of like meeting them up front. But because of that, it's hard in the mornings. I'm carrying so much stuff and then I have to enter a code. All my clients are amazing. Like, all my clients have given me no issues about the masks or any of the rules. So they just know it's what we have to do. And some of the other girls that I work alongside with clients are ridiculous. If your client's leaving or I'm opening the door, so I'm like, oh thanks, and go to grab the door, and in the beginning I felt awkward, but now I just say, I'm like, oh, like your person actually has to come let you in, because now let's say I hold the door open for them, they'll go stand outside the person's door and they're like, hello. Like, the reason for that is we took away the waiting chairs, because there's not supposed to be a waiting area. So if I hold the door open, then they are just gonna hang around, and that's like what we're trying to avoid people like having more contact with each other. So it's like, it sounds rude because you literally cannot hold the door open for someone, but like it is what you have to do. And now, like I said, I feel less awkward. Like, I'll just say, like, oh, I'm sorry, actually your person has to come let you in. We're trying to prevent the amount of people that are in the building at one time, and if your person isn't here to let you in, it means that she's still doing someone or is busy. So like, she'll come get you when she's ready, and most people are completely okay with it. I'm gonna finish the story while I set up quick. So I go up to let my client, I always walk them out so I can take pictures. So I go out and I'm up front with my client, and this older woman is holding the door open, and it didn't look like she was coming in. It looked like she was just standing there holding the door open for whoever was to come in, which we keep locked. And like a young girl, maybe my age, like sees that she's holding the door open. She's like, oh, thank you. And like, she's like, I tried it, but the door, like, it must have been jammed or whatever, so I can't see what's going on. I'm like, whoa. So I say to the younger girl, I'm like, oh no, like actually, you know, you're supposed to wait outside and like your person's gonna let you in. You could tell she was like kind of confused. She was seeing a girl that works like more towards the front, and I guess the girl was cleaning, like the hairdresser, because I heard when the younger girl walked over, she was like, oh, like technically I'm supposed to go up and let you in. Like, I said, I'm not blaming the younger girl because she didn't know, but like, who is this older woman that's holding the door? So I look at her and I'm like, and she goes, Yeah, how do I buzz people in? Because remember, we had like a call box. That's how I let myself in. Like, you're only, like, you let yourself in if you're like an owner of a suite. So she's like, how do I let myself in? And I was like, you don't let anybody in. Like, first of all, like, who are you here to say? Like, what the hell's going on? And I explained it to her. We took away the waiting areas because we don't want people in the building unless they are currently physically ready to get their hair done. And like, who are you here to see? And she kind of just ignored my question and was like, all right, like, I'll wait outside. So I was like, all right, that was weird, whatever. So my client that I was taking pictures of, we both look at each other like, what the heck? My client texts me 2 seconds later that I guess this older woman waited for me to like turn back and go into my hallway. And as my client was leaving, she like pushed past her to get in the door while it was open. And my client, which is so cute of her, she did not have to do this, apparently was like, no, you're supposed to wait outside. Like, she tried. And the woman was like, well, it's hot. So as soon as I got that text, and I think I was on a break, I was like, okay, now I'm annoyed. So I was like, let me see whose client this is, because I'm gonna say something to the stylist and just be like, just so you know, your client like shoved my freaking client. The girl who was doing her hair is literally so sweet, like, we're friends. And she's cleaning her room, and I see this woman waiting outside the door staring at her, and I walk by and I could see my friends is like a little annoyed because, once again, how did you get in here? Like, you're supposed to, whatever. And she's standing there for 10 minutes, and I walk by her and she's like refusing to make eye contact with me. So I was like, what the heck? So I DM my friend, so she comes to my door and she's like, that was a new client. I told her yesterday, like, I sent her a whole big email about waiting outside, and then I told her, like, yeah, she was like, oh, well, it's too hot. And then we're like, yeah, that's why you wait in your car with AC. Like, no one told you to stand outside the front door. Like, but she felt so bad. I'm like, you don't feel bad, especially like, it was a new client. It's not your fault. Like, if that was my client, like, I wasn't gonna say anything to the client, like I said, but it just really did bother me that she like pushed my client out of the way. Like, okay, what is wrong with you? And like, I want someone to tell me if that was my client. We've been having some issues another time. So this guy is like pulling on the door, and we don't have a barber in here anymore, but there are some women that cut men's cuts. So I like open the door and I was like, oh, hi, who are you here to see? So he pulls up a box of masks and he's like, oh no, I have masks. So I'm like confused, and I'm just like, oh, someone ordered masks? And he was just like, no, like, I go to salons and like I drop them off. And I was like, oh, that's like nice of you. Like, I guess he's like, you donate masks to salons because I guess you know you need them. I'm like, that's cool. So I'm like, oh, then I guess you could just like, you could leave him right there because there's like a desk up front. And he's just like, no, I'm selling them. Like, it's not like he was like from a company. Like, he literally was some asshole that just went and got a $5 mask from CVS and was gonna try and sell it to the stupid hairdresser for $50 because I guess he thinks we're idiots. Like, newsflash, everyone here owns their own business, so they're obviously not that stupid. Wrong place to go. Like, I was trying to be nice, but like I was like flustered because, once again, I feel like I'm the only one that like gets all the crazies whenever I go up. So I'm like, everyone has masks here. Everyone wears fabric masks like me, and everyone also has all the masks that my like landlord gave us. Like, oh, then who should I talk to? Like, is there like a receptionist? But he wasn't like young either. Like, if it was a 15-year-old boy trying to get his hustle, I'd be like, all right, you're fine. But like I said, it was like a 30-year-old man. Like, you're an ass. And I was like, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I was like, no, there's no receptionist. Like, everyone's gonna give you the same face I just did. And like, once again, we're only supposed to have people in here who are doing their hair. No one's gonna want you like walking around just trying to sell them something. Like, everyone's gonna kind of give you the same face I did. And he was like, oh, okay, and left. And I looked at my client. I was like, why do I keep getting these crazy people? All right, I'm gonna get my TV to work, and then we are going to start my first client.
We are going to try and do a voiceover today, just switch it up a little bit. But here's Christina's before. She gets it done around every 4 or 5 months or so, depending on the time of year. And we basically go in first with a level 3 permanent color at her roots just to cover up some grays. Then I just go ahead and I balayage. I don't touch anything that she has that's already blue, and we also don't go completely to the root. We like to feather it very nicely just so it blends really well and we don't get any harsh grow out lines, because we do like to keep it pretty low maintenance. She does not come in for any glazes or anything in between. We get away with just her using some color depositing conditioner at home, and it always looks super fresh. As you could tell from that before, it always looks gorgeous, and it was still blended so nicely. So we only left this process to around a level 6 or 7. If it was gonna be a super bright blue, then we would wanna process it to more of a blonde, but we like more of the jewel darker tones. So because of that, we don't really let it process too light, as you could see right now. After shampooing, it is kind of orangey, which is perfectly fine, and we don't mind it kind of coming out a little bit purpley at first. I'm just using Pravana Vivid's Blue right here over towel dried shampooed hair. We love the blue and purple tones. It kind of reminds us of that book, The Rainbow Fish, or even like those kaleidoscopy colors, and I just think it is absolutely beautiful. And we just finished her off with a beautiful sleek blowout and some beach waves, and she will be good to go until around Christmas. Next up, we have my client, Jessica. So we needed to do a pretty big chop on Jessica. It has been a long time since she came in. I forget how long, at least 6 months. So her balayage definitely oxidized, a bit brassy, and also was super outgrown. So we don't like it too high up, but as you can see, what I do is I do some version of a teasy light. I do different things on all of my clients. It's definitely not one size fits all with me. So basically, I am just taking super thin sections and teasing it, and then just kind of painting the bottoms. I'm doing this mainly underneath in the back just to brighten it up without making it too high up. You can see this is the coffee she brought me, and I was so happy to get rid of my disgusting coffee, so she made my day. But here is the result. Let it process to around a level 8, and I just toned it down a lot just so it doesn't get too light in the summertime. Beautiful and bronze. So 2 clients down, 2 to go. My battery's about to die, but I have anywhere from 2 minutes to 15 minutes until my next client gets here. I really could be doing the laundry that's right over there, but I'll just do that while my client is processing, because I'm gonna sit for 5 minutes and eat some trail mix. Not the healthiest, but it's what I got. Let's just talk about how beautiful Danielle's before is. It definitely got warm, but that blend was gorgeous. So you could see here we are starting off with chopping up a couple of inches. So obviously I do most of the cut wet, but when it's going to be anything more than 2 inches, I like to cut some length off before we color it, just so we're not wasting some product. So I'm just cleaning her up now, and I just cannot get over how good her color still looks. She actually, I think, was filmed by me on my Christmas Eve hair vlog. So it's been since Christmas since we touched it, and it fades beautiful. We always do this type of chocolatey balayage, and it just fades so nicely to this gorgeous caramel color. We decided not to lighten her up because we didn't need to bring any pieces up higher. So I first started off with darkening her base a little bit. I don't usually like to darken the base if I could help it, but her natural is a little bit ashier, which is gorgeous for a balayage, but when going darker, it can tend to look a little flat and a little mousy. So I definitely like to just use a really nice, rich level 5 base on her, and now I'm just throwing in a rich level 6 low light. And then whatever was left out, I toned. I did not film that part, but I just toned that down, and that left us with this gorgeous dimensional chocolatey balayage. A lot of my clients do not follow the go lighter in the summer rule, and it looks so gorgeous with her tan, and she will be good until Christmas again. And last but not least is my client Liz. So Liz is one of my longest haired clients. Thankfully, she let me cut off that see-through last couple inches at the bottom, but she has so much hair. The last time I saw her was November, so it was even longer than anyone else today. And we are refreshing her baby lights. So basically, I'm taking thin sections throughout, and we are just brightening it up. You guys have seen me do this a million times. And then the last couple minutes, as I'm pulling out foils, I'll usually just brighten up some ends for the last minute or two. once it processes to a level 8 or 9, I pulled out all the foils, shampooed her twice, and now I'm applying her root smudge and toner. So for her root smudge, I think I used a little bit of 6N, a little bit 6T, Redken Shades. That's my secret formula that I love so much. I always am adding a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No two clients' heads are the same formula, but I apply that everywhere except for the 2 front pieces. And I'll just usually give those just a little tiny tap. Applying her end formula, which is 9V, 9P, a little 8V just to cut the little bit of darker, warmer tones. And same thing, I leave the 2 front pieces for last. And once that is all over, I comb it through and I let it sit for anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. So the lighting was starting to get a little weird because it was sunset, so it looks a little warmer in video, but here is the result. It is absolutely beautiful, just a beautiful buttery rooty blonde. As the toner fades, it's actually going to get even brighter. So beautiful, and it's just the perfect tone. My feet are on fire, my ears are on fire from the mask. What's on you? Usually I take a couple minutes in between clients to take off the mask. I did not have time today. This is the look that everyone's gonna have to get. I literally live in these sweatshorts, it's fine. Tomorrow's also a long day. I wanna say it's another 8:30 to 5-ish day, maybe even 8:30 to 6. So definitely some long days, but then on Saturday, I only have 1 client in the morning. I think I have a 9 a.m. because then after that, we have another, I feel like we've been having so many little like outdoor parties. I only have 1 client and then I have off on Sunday, so I'll have like almost the full weekend off, so it'll be nice. So it's gonna make these 2 longer days worth it. I'm gonna go into it in another video when I have more time to talk about it, but I did decide to switch my schedule when I had my little semi-mental breakdown the other day about working so much. I was definitely just trying to do too much because I was working a full day of hair. Then I was also trying to come home and also do tie-dye and also do YouTube and also try and clean what I wanted to clean, also try and cook and just do all of these things. It's just too much. I was spreading myself too thin, and I think what I decided is that I'd rather do a little bit of longer days doing hair if it meant fewer days and dedicate a full day to each thing. I also eventually don't want to do Saturdays. Like, it sucks because like I at one point wasn't doing Saturdays, but I was also working closer to the city, so I was doing 6 p.m. So for my clients that worked 9 to 5 in the city, they were able to get to me by 6 o'clock. Now where I am, they would definitely not, basically. But I really don't want to do Saturdays forever. Right now, it doesn't really matter too much because Vinny does school from home. But realistically, he's most likely going to be working in the city next year. So for us, I don't want to, if I only have 2 days on the weekend with him, I don't want to be working one of them. So I want to start phasing out Saturdays. Obviously, I'm going to start incorporating more late nights to make up for the clients, but I know it's going to be hard for some of my clients. So it sucks, but you know, so far everyone's been super understanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 10 a.m. start a little bit later, working until like 8:30. So it's definitely longer days, doing that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Get home and not worry about anything except for just recouping for the next day. So like, not worry about YouTube unless I want to film a hair video, not worry about cleaning, not worrying about clothing, like just worrying about doing hair and focusing and coming home and eating and relaxing, going to bed. Is that house new? Damn. And then on Thursdays, like I don't have anything like set, but like Thursdays could be my YouTube day where I spend all day editing, maybe filming and editing, and just really focusing 1 day a week on that. Focusing Friday on maybe doing, like I said, tie-dye or some type of clothing, sewing, doing something. And then Saturday and Sunday even have off and then just clean a little bit Thursdays and Fridays. Like split things up a little bit more, because right now I just feel like I'm just trying to do way too much. I used to pre-book all the way for the unforeseeable future, and I don't do that anymore because my problem is I would pre-book until next June and then something would happen where I'd have to move the appointment anyway. So now I don't do it like that. I just, like right now, I think I have my schedule made up until Thanksgiving, and in a month then I'll make it for December. So starting I think the end of October, we'll start my new Monday through Wednesday schedule, and it's actually still going to be the same amount of clients. It's just going to be consolidated into a little bit of longer days. We're not going to be talking about this in another video because I really just talked about everything I needed to talk about now. I'm almost back home now, and I think the food truck will be there. I probably won't film, but I'm excited to get some food truck food.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. if we are crashing down again.
It is Sunday right now, and my hair is green. Not terrible, but it's not great. So my hair never turns green because I always wet it first, and when you wet it first, it prevents the chlorine from the pool to sticking to it. But yesterday, my lovely friend tapped me in the pool, so I went in with dry hair and it is now green, so we're going to try and get it out. First, I'm going to just wet the ends because you can see it's mainly just the ends. It's like hard to see in sunlight. But in the other news, the power's out at our house. It went out around an hour ago. It's definitely one of those days. So the last time I vlogged was Thursday. We had that like food truck thing I was telling you guys about, and it was so much fun. Then the next day we had another one of our neighbor's daughter's graduation parties. And then yesterday we had our best friend's dad's birthday. So we've been very busy, and we were already unmotivated because of how tired we are. And then the power goes out, so that means no AC. I wanted to edit this video so I can get it up because it's been a while since I uploaded, but my laptop's dead. So it's definitely one of those days. PSEG did like email us and tell us like they think it'll be back in like an hour or two, so hopefully that does that, but it's annoying because obviously that means the food in our fridge is probably gonna go bad. The power came back on, thank God, and most of the green is out. And this is what I say to my clients all the time. It's so much easier to prevent hair turning green than it is to get it out. And I'm not putting V8 or tomato juice or ketchup in my hair, even though it may work. I'm just not doing that. But this is what I mean. This is why I never go into the pool with dry hair, but it was not my choice. But it's karma because my friend's hair turned green too. So now that the power's back on, I'm going to plug in my laptop and start editing this video. And then this week I need to focus on getting the tie-dye ready. Look how much of that pink tan color I have. It's insane. And then I have so much more cute colors too. I love this gray. The gray and blue look really similar to me, but still super cute. That basically does it for another kind of chill, boring vlog. I feel like recently it's like a super weird time right now because no one really knows what they can be doing, what we should be doing, and obviously we can't really plan anything big. And I've been super busy with work, and Vinny's been super busy with school. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
So let's move on. It's alright, so